Hey, what's up? It's Matt in Japan. Welcome back to my channel. In today's review, we'll be taking a look at Transformers Legacy United Infernac Universe Shard. So there she is inside the box. And yes, I did say she. More on that later. Pretty standard fare here for the packaging. Takara Tomy logo, Generations logo, Transformers down the side. There she is in the box there, and a very cool picture of her. Alt mode, that helicopter mode is looking pretty killer. Logos and such, she's a deluxe class figure. On the side, you do see a picture of her in a robot mode, and an up close of that very cool looking noggin there. So, logos on the top, product info on the bottom, artwork on the side, and on the back is where we see our product shots of Infernac Universe Shard. She converts in 13 steps to her helicopter mode, and she is an armorizer, so you can take her apart and arm up your favorite figures with her weapons. I will be showing off how she integrates with gear. So yeah, always very curious about this figure. So without further ado, let's open this gal up and see what she's all about. All right, here we have Shard out of the box, and before we get into her details, let's take a quick look at the accessories she comes with. And she does come with a plethora of accessories. The first being the 4 blades of the helicopter, which are basically all the same. They're done in that sort of teal green, and they're all sculpted the same with a little bit of sculpt work at the bottom, and then you have the post there for helicopter mode. There are a couple things you can do with these. Since she is an armorizer, one of the things the instruction says you can put one on this side and then put one on the underside of her hand like that, and that becomes sort of a handheld weapon like so. So that's something you can do as well. And again, I mean, there's ports all over her, and you can put them on the back as well. If you want to just have weapon storage for the robot mode, you can just plug them in one of the helicopter ports back here and just have them kind of hang off the back if you want to do that. It's really up to you. So again, a lot of playability with these figures. So that is the 4 blades of the helicopter. She also comes with the shin guards here, which were loose in the package. I don't know why they didn't come actually on the shins, but these just clip on like that. So not sure why they came loose, but they just peg on like so. So I wouldn't really call those accessories. They just come loose. So if you do pick up this figure, just know that those do come loose in the package. So that kind of completes the look there. And then she does come with 2 more accessories, which are sort of the blasters. Again, used as a handheld weapon or in helicopter mode for the sort of boosters. And we'll talk more into detail, but the molding on this figure is just absolutely incredible. It's just amazing. Aptly named Shard. So there is the details of that. There's a peg on either side, and there's a port on the inside there. And one of the things you can do per the instructions is you can put it on this side, and then put this one on this side. And then you can take those blades, and you can actually plug in the blades here. So you can actually plug those in like that. I think they are blast effect compatible as well, so you can just put those like that. And then with the remaining ports here on the inside, you can plug these guys in. So it gives her sort of like a bow and arrow type look, which I really do like this weapon. I think this is pretty cool. I really do like that look. So that's something you can do. As it falls off here. But that's something you can do. Just showing you that real quick. Once you get it pegged in, it does stay pretty well. So that is a very cool look for her as well. And again, the more you kind of fool around with this figure and the accessories, you can get some pretty cool weapons, I'm sure. But for now, those are the accessories. Let's get into Shard's details. Okay, let's get into Shard's details here. And as I mentioned in the intro, Shard is a girl. She is loosely based off an old Rocklord figure called Solitaire. Solitaire was a sort of crystal-like blue female figure back in the Rocklord days, and she is loosely based on that. Not sure why she's green, but it definitely is working. So anyways, let's get up close on the head sculpt. I just love all the different shades of green used on this figure. You get the light sort of lime green, a little bit darker green. You get a sort of steel gray for the mouthpiece there, and the head is almost very insect-like. She looks very sort of insect in her head sculpt, but very, very cool. There is some clear green on the back here. I'll show you right now. There is some awesome light piping. I'm just gonna kill my lights here for a second. I'll show you off the light piping. So just killing the lights here, and then getting a light from the back. So if you shine it kind of back through there, you do get some really nice light piping there. So again, on the back piece there is some translucent gray, green plastic. But if you put a light behind there, it really shines. So very, very cool. Okay, lights back on, back to the figure. Again, you see that translucent green plastic here on the chest area. And like I said, there is some translucent green plastic on the back. So that's where you want to shine the light through, and that goes right through the back of her head. Some really nice light piping. Always love figures with light piping. Again, you get that sort of turquoise blue against the darker green. Again, just the shading and the molding on this figure is very, very impressive. Now, the arms and the waist, the arms are sort of that gunmetal gray. You do have some spikes coming off the back of the arms there. And then the waist piece is more of a little bit lighter, sort of gunmetal gray, silver. And the upper thighs are gunmetal gray as well. But I think it works. I mean, I don't think if she was all green, I think it'd be too much. But it definitely breaks up the figure very nicely in the midsection and in the arms. And then like I showed you down here, you get that really dark green, and it just sort of gradually fades into that sort of lime green. And on the sides here, you get some really nice sculpted detail, and the feet look amazing too with the lighter green at the tips. Again, everything is just molded really, really well, and just tons of molded detail on this figure. That's how she looks from the back. That's her sort of helicopter cockpit there, and you see the where the blades go on the back. The only thing I don't like about this figure right off the bat, yeah, she is an armorizer, and you know the limbs do come off for for arming up your other figures, but I really do wish this piece was separate. I really thought this was a separate piece. It is not. It is on a hinge right here. If you can see the pins right there, it's on a hinge, so it goes back and forward like that. I would love for this to kind of pull out and be able to use this as even like a two-pronged like weapon or something. I was a little bit disappointed this didn't come off. So it does act like as like a tail, which does make her look almost like reptilian in that way. And I guess you can use it to kind of stand her up and stuff. I mean, she stands just fine, no problems there. But it's a little bit unsightly on the back. So I mean, I think if it wasn't there, it'd be a little bit nicer. She does have a little bit of a backpack, but I'd say that my only complaint so far in robot mode is this piece does not come off. So anyways, other than that, she's really interesting, and I really love the way she looks. So just doing a quick comparison here between her and another female figure. Who do I have on hand here? I have my Animated Universe Chromia here. So just doing a quick comparison. Shard stands a little bit taller than Chromia. Chromia is kind of a little short. Shard is just a little bit taller. So there's a quick comparison there. And what I'll be showing you in a second is how she integrates with Gears. So there's Gears next to Shard there. So yeah, Gears obviously is a little bit smaller. But yeah, otherwise, a really cool looking figure. Again, the sculpt work is absolutely amazing. So let's get into her articulation. Okay, articulation for Shard is as follows. Her head is just on a mushroom peg, so it doesn't really, I mean, it spins all the way around, but there's no ball joint there, so it doesn't really have much movement besides just a 360 there. So a little bit unfortunate, but not a big deal. Her arms are on a hinge right here, so they can go out that far. There is a swivel right above the elbow, and there is a 90 degree at the elbow. If I can get to work here. There is a 90 degree at the elbow. There is a wrist swivel there, which is very nice. These parts do come off. So, there is a shoulder, you can move the shoulder all the way around like that. So there's actually some nice articulation on the arms. There is a waist swivel, but it does get hindered again by all this backpack junk. So it can go that far, and then it can go about that far. It can't really go all the way around. Again, I kind of wish this was, a separate piece, so you might be able to get a full rotation there. You can see that she is very hollow in the middle there. So as far as her legs, she can do the full splits. And then going, whoa, yeah, that's the only problem with these armorizers. They tend to fall off. It feels pretty tight, but when you're moving around, it does tend to come off. Her legs can kick back that far. And forward, her legs can go pretty high up there. She can do a pretty nice high kick, not all the way, but not too bad. And then there is a hinge at the hip, so here they can hinge up. There's also there's no swivel at the hips. Is there? No, there's no swivel at the hips. There's rotation at the knee again, like I showed you, that comes apart. There's a little bit over 90 at the knee. And then there is some toe articulation. There's a hinge here, so you got front and back toe articulation, I think, for transformation. And then you do get a tiny little bit of ankle rocker tilt back and forth. Actually, a good amount. So yeah, she's somewhat posable. I mean, for an armorizer that, you know, all these parts kind of come apart, they tend to be pretty well articulated. So that is about it for articulation for Shard. Whoa, again, she falls apart here. Okay, and then before we get her transformed into her copter mode, I just want to show you guys how she integrates with gears. Okay, here we have gears all prepped for armorization. So we've taken Shard apart, and let's take a look at how Shard integrates with other figures. First thing you want to do is you want to take Shard's arms and then turn around gears on the back, and then her arms will just plug into these ports right here on the back. Let's see if I have that right. No, this one goes on this side, so you want to just kind of make sure that it just looks like an extra set of arms. So those will just plug in like so. And then you can kind of fold the, make sure the elbow's facing forward. And then it says to add the gun to the extra set of arms. So you can add his gun like that underneath there, which is very strange. The next thing is these parts, it says in the instructions to put on the side, the shin pieces to put on the side of gears. But when you do that, this peg is way too small for this port. So when you do that, it just comes off. It's a very loose connection. So I'm going to say screw that. And I'm going to put it on, let's see here. I'm going to put it on the bottom of his feet. So he has some sort of rock slippers on the bottom just for some traction. So I'm going to put him on like that. Yeah, it's weird because it says they're supposed to fit in there, but the pegs are way too small. They just fall off. Next thing you're going to do is basically recreate the weapon that I showed you at first. So you have this configuration, and then let's see here. As we get them in there, this is going to go on the top, and then this is going to go on the bottom like... do I have this backwards? This can be a little... I mean, just like that looks pretty cool, but... try to do it like the instructions say. Actually, I'm just gonna take these off. It might be a little bit easier. And then this fits in the bottom. Do I have these opposites? No, I don't. So yeah, so then that fits in like that. And then this one fits. It's kind of a lot going on here with this weapon, and then the extra arms coming through here. And then last thing you want to do is you want to take Shard's feet, which were Shard's feet, her shin and feet. You're going to fold that down. And then this creates like I'm not sure what it's supposed to be. It's like I don't know, looks like some sort of spear, some sort of, like, again, like a bow and arrow type thing going on. So that is how that looks like that. Okay, so that's gears all armed up with Shard's armorizing parts. Yeah, I mean, that's what it shows in the instructions. It's the thing you can do. I'm not sure like the red and blue of gears goes really well with like the green of Shard. But yeah, I think maybe it would look better on like a figure like Springer or someone that has at least like a little bit of green on them. I'm sure there's better figures to arm up. So, but yeah, I mean, it's a cool look. I mean, you know, these armorizers are fun. You can kind of make your own, you know, make your own weapons and make your own configuration. So yeah, that's just showing you what it says in the instructions. So anyways, let's get Shard transformed into her helicopter mode. All right, let's look at Shard's details in her copter mode. So yeah, the copter mode is looking pretty sweet. I really love how freely the blades spin. Really nice. It's always nice when they, you know, spin very freely, unlike some people, Sandstorm. Yeah, we'll bring in him for a comparison here real quick. But yeah, the helicopter mode is pretty slamming. I really like it. And the transformation was fun, albeit a little bit finicky, you know, with things kind of falling off and things. But yeah, the helicopter mode is pretty cool. Again, you know, you see all the detail you saw in robot mode, but just, you know, the sculpt work on this figure is absolutely amazing. You see that back piece. I don't know, it seems very, this figure is, it's either like amphibian or reptilian or like insect-like. This part is very like fish-like to me. I don't know why, it just looks like a fishtail. But yeah, that's how she looks from the other side. Just, you know, you saw the detail in robot mode. You know, you can outfit that with some blast effects. And yeah, I think the helicopter mode looks really, really cool. So very, very cool. So speaking of Sandstorm and a comparison here, I mean, the only real comparison we can do is two helicopters, right? So, I mean, these are the only real helicopters I have in my collection for like a modern Transformer. So yeah, there she is next to Legacy United Sandstorm, and yeah, it's a pretty good comparison. You know, she's a little gal next to Sandstorm, but yeah, pretty cool. So yeah, actually, yeah, of course on camera, they spin pretty well, but usually Sandstorm's rotors don't spin so well, but now they're spinning, of course. Anyways, let's get her back into a robot mode and leave with my final thoughts. Okay, so some final thoughts for Legacy United Shard here. I think this is a very cool figure, and she is definitely one of the better figures in the Infernac universe, in my opinion. She's really the only one I was really interested in, and having her in hand and just seeing the detail and that sculpt work is absolutely amazing. Love the head sculpt, light piping. She's got a lot going for her. The only qualm I have is that sort of tail piece in the back, but even in this pose, you can't really see it, so I guess it's not that bad, but I do wish it's separated. That's my only complaint about this figure. Otherwise, a knockout. A very, very cool figure. Tons of playability, nice detail, coloring. And yeah, there's just one configuration I was showing you right here, but there are endless possibilities with these armorizers. So yeah, all in all, a very, very cool figure. So this has been my look at Legacy United Infernac Universe Deluxe Class Shard. This has been Matt in Japan. Thanks for watching. As always, please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Hit that notification bell for more great content. And as always, till all are one.